Sometimes I've just got to smile and enjoy this, and today is one of those days. The Air Max 90 is a great sneaker to review, and anything that's duck camo is awesome. It started with the duck camos back about 7 years ago when Atmos did a collaboration with these guys behind me here. These are the original duck camos, and then we had a recent drop for the 30th anniversary of the Air Max 90s was the reverse duck camo. Again, that should be behind me right here. And then what we're looking at today is the Ghost Green Duck Camo. Again, that should be right behind me here. And there's one thing that they've changed between the reverse and these Ghost Greens that was on the original and wasn't on the reverse, and they've brought it back again for these Ghost Greens, and I'm super happy about that. And I'm going to enjoy bringing you the whole sneaker today and talking about all the cool design features on it and telling you that one particular place that they brought back from the original duck camos, and I'm thrilled that they've done it. So stick around for today's video as we take a deeper look at the upcoming release of the Nike Air Max 90 Ghost Green Duck Camo. This is a Tokyo About a 23 Sneaker Channel, Tokyo About a 23 Sneaker Channel des. 毎日アップするので、毎日見てください. Every single day from Tokyo, Japan, I bring you content about upcoming sneaker releases, sneaker news, and sneaker reviews. And today, out of the blue, didn't see it on any of the release calendars. There was nothing to give me a hint that this guy was coming. I did really enjoyed talking about the reverse duck camos when they came out earlier for this 30th anniversary year of the Air Max 90s. And then here, these guys came out of the blue, and I was just like, yes, that's the sneaker for today. If you watch my channel regularly, you'll know that I drop daily content, and since we're in lockdown here in Tokyo, Japan, I've been shooting from home, which I don't usually like to do, which means I shoot today's video, what is your today, which is Saturday, the day before, which I don't like doing. It's a bit risky. Anything could happen, including my little girl who's sleeping next door comes running in, knocks the camera over and pulls down the green screen. Hasn't happened yet, fingers crossed, touch wood and all that stuff. But because of that, every so often a sneaker that was under the radar and it pops up, I can grab it as soon as it happens. It happened very recently with the SB Dunk Low 711s, these guys right here, that I was struggling for a sneaker that day, and then all of a sudden, like 8 PM at night, it was like the first surface, and it's like, yes, that's my video. And it happened today as well with these Ghost Green Duck Camos. Hadn't seen it coming, and then all of a sudden, pop, there it is on the radar. And I've got a feeling that's to do with the coronavirus. I think the coronavirus has made a mess of drop dates, and all of a sudden, sneakers that they had planned to drop, they can't because sporting events are no longer like going on, and so that leaves a hole in the calendar, and they bring something and drop it in that hole. And maybe that's what happened with these Ghost Green Duck Camos. I don't really care what happened. I'm just thrilled it did, because I think these are a great looking sneaker. And like I said, they bring back that one feature that was missing from the reverse Duck Camos. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to like put it up behind me, and I do this a lot with my green screen, is I put up like 2 seconds of one sneaker and then 2 seconds of the other sneaker. So what you'll have right now is the duck camos and then these Ghost Green Duck Camos, and I'm going to give you a little while, we're talking like 20 seconds, to try and work out which single feature they've brought back. So it's missing from the reverse Duck Camos, and they brought it back to the Ghost Green Camos, and you try and work out what it was. Now I did mention that when I did my video about the reverse Duck Camos, and I was like, oh, I'm so disappointed they took that off, and there doesn't seem to be any reason why they did take it off other than to save a bit of cash. So I'm thrilled that it's back. Hopefully you've had a good look at the two behind me here, and you're trying to work out which of the little features or details on these Ghost Greens it is that's come back. And I'm going to tell you right now, usually YouTubers would keep that big reveal for the end of the video, but that's just not my style. But I will be getting into all the details on this sneaker after I've done this little bit where I tell you that thing that's come back. But I don't know if you know this, but here is the reverse Duck Camos in full, and we're gradually zooming in on the place that was missing, and it's getting closer and closer. And hopefully what you can see here is the bottom of the lacing system is in black, I think it was. On the original Duck Camos, not the reverses, so here again we'll flip out to those. You can see at the bottom of the lacing system, again hopefully zooming in, you can see that that was in the camo colorway. And then if we flip that back to the reverse Duck Camos, for some reason they went with black, and it was the only real major alteration on the actual structure of the sneaker with the reverse Duck Camos. There was another feature in the materials, but the actual structure of it was this was the one kind of change that I was a bit surprised by. And then then here we are with these Ghost Greens, and you can see at the bottom of the lacing system there that they have brought back the camo down there. I don't know why they took it out, the reverse duck camos. Like I say, I can only think of money to, you know, save a bit of cash by making that black instead of camo. But here we are back with that little detail at the bottom of the lacing system. I think it's a great move, and that's one of the reasons why I was thrilled to be able to bring this sneaker to the channel today. It's a big, big yes for me. But we've been zoomed in on that little bit at the bottom of the lacing system, but let's zoom out and look at the whole sneaker. There's two particular things that we need to know about the whole sneaker. Number one is, if we go back to the reverse duck camos, you can see the red detailing in there, especially on the toe box and around the top line on the reverse duck camos. And if we flip that out back to the original duck camos, you can see that that was black on the toe box and on the top line, and then we get to greens, and you can see, keeping consistent with that theme, you've got that green panel on the toe box and then that green top line up there. So it's a very consistent sort of change to the colorway between the three sneakers. The first and original ones had a much more smooth and luxurious feel about their toe box, and then the second reverse duck camos, it was mesh, and then here we are again. You should be able to see on the green screen that you've got mesh on that toe box there, and also further up the sneaker. So there's a sort of a quality drop between the originals and then the reverses, and now these Ghost Green ones as well. But that is mesh, yes, on the toe box there. But then I don't want to get too close in right yet. I want to still stay further away and look at the actual camo itself, because this is a departure. The previous two were woodland, hence the duck. You know, imagine you're hunting for ducks or something, so woodland, or sort of, you know, woods feel about it. I was going to say jungle, but it's not jungle. It's more the woods, and a bit more sort of northern hemisphere rather than tropical feel to the camo. But then if we have a look at these Ghost Greens, you can see that they've brought in a few more tans, which really surprised me because there's more of a desert feel, and so that duck camo feel is gone. It's gone into a desert feel, but that's very similar to this. That's the sneaker I reviewed yesterday. That's the KB3s, I think, from the Zero Why Not, the Why Not 0.3 line. And I brought that shoe yesterday knowing I wouldn't get many hits on it and people wouldn't watch the video very much, but it was a tribute to one of Kevin Westbrook's fallen friends who passed away at the age of 16, and I felt that that story was worth bringing. If maybe not it gets the views for the channel, at least that story gets some light shone on it. But you can see that sneaker there, predominantly tan with those lime greens. And then if we come to today's sneaker, which is the Nike AM90 Ghost Green Duck Camos, you can see again that similar sort of tan and green feel to them. Now there's a couple of places I want to look at in detail on the sneaker. I've already talked about the mesh that's in there, but I also want to zoom in on the swoosh. I mentioned the swoosh earlier. On the original Duck Camos, the swoosh was actually a sort of snakeskin feel to it, and then they dropped that for the follow-up, the reverse Duck Camos, and then here again you can see it's a solid swoosh on the side. I actually prefer that. I'm not a huge fan of a swoosh that's done in, say, snakeskin or some kind of textured effect. I prefer my swooshes to be solid, as this one is here, and I think that's a good move on the part of the Nike brand. And then dropping down a little bit towards the heel, where you've got that little window at the back end of the sneaker. On the original Duck Camos, that was all red, I think, including the writing on there, and it was one of my favourite things about the reverse is that they switched that out and made it, I think it's a black panel with red writing on it, and then what they've done here is they've kept that motif with the black panel and now the green writing on it. So I'm glad they haven't gone back to the same colour in the panel and the writing, because that, as you can see, maybe I've put it up here on the originals, it's hard to see the writing on there because it blends in with the background, but then the contrast that you get, the way you got with the reverses and now you get with the Ghost Greens, it works really, really well. Another thing that really works well is a change from the originals. The originals, I think, had a total black outsole on them, and then the follow-ups, the reverses, had a black and red outsole, and you can see here with these Ghost Greens that they've got that two-tone outsole and the lime green and the black on there as well. And I totally dig that, and also because of that black bit at the back of the outsole, it comes up onto the air unit, and then you look into the air unit, into that lime green air unit on there as well, and it's just a very, very cool sneaker. So then let's pan right back out again, have a look at the whole thing, and hopefully everything that I've just explained to you kind of all fits together like a jigsaw puzzle, and you can see what a great looking sneaker this is. I did like the reverse Duck Camos. I do love these. I think these are actually a step up, which is unusual. Usually as you sort of retro a sneaker, or you change it or evolve it. For example, the Nike Air Max 2090 I think is an absolute disaster. Reviewed that recently and compared it to the Air Max 90s and kind of went bit for bit or piece for piece, looking at the different parts of the sneaker and what I thought were developments and what weren't. Well, mostly weren't. So when you get that development, sometimes the sneaker, you know, it just isn't as good. If you think the Jordan line, you know, they've had their peak days, but now it's just sort of, you know, an afterthought, almost the Jordan 34s, and that's just a natural progression of things. So I'm surprised to see that, you know, the original Duck Camos, you know, maybe they, I think I like the reverse Duck Camos more than the original ones, to be honest. And then these Ghost Greens, I think, are an improvement again, which is unusual to see that upward trajectory in a sneaker, but that's what we're seeing with this one, and I think is a great looking sneaker. So all in all, a big yes for me. The colorway is great, the detailing is great, everything about it, the story is great. It's just a really nice sneaker, and like I say, when I stumbled across it today, I was like, yes. Didn't even think about looking for any other sneakers out there. It was just definitely, this is the sneaker that I want to bring to the channel today and talk about, and hopefully you feel that, and you feel that energy. So and again, actually, I meant to mention this at the start of the video. I didn't really think about it, but I often talk about being European and how the Jordan line is something that's a bit alien to me, whereas Air Maxes and Adidas is very close to what I grew up with. The Jordan line didn't come to the UK really en masse until recent times, and when I was growing up in the 90s, you know, Air Maxes and Adidas were the big sneakers out there, so like Adidas Samba and stuff like that. So bringing an Air Max to the channel really is great for me. It's a bit, it's my home turf, if you like, or my home ground, so I really enjoy doing it, and hopefully that's come across in the video today. Okay, it's time for me to sign off, and thank you guys for checking out my content. I truly appreciate it. Getting a lot going. I'm managing to stick with this daily content, which is a challenge, but I'm managing to keep churning it out. I'm a bit worried that one day something's going to come along and slow me down and stop me getting to that 7 PM Japan time drop, but it hasn't happened so far. Fingers crossed it won't actually happen. For now though, time for me to sign off and do what I do at the end of every single video, which is say thank you guys for checking out my content, but as I do this every single day, that means that you are guaranteed to see me tomorrow.